Hello, everyone. Anyone? It's me. It's me. I'm back from the sea. Never actually went to sea. Never been a sailor. Been at sea a few times. Literally and, well, figuratively, for sure. Out of my way. Sell that junk. Alright, now we'll figure out where we're going to do a little bit of map completion. To level 44. And for tier 3 of the achieves, you have to go to a specific one of a list of locations. Fields of Ruin. That's my standard, is Fields of Ruin.
Age no longer affects us dwarves. Erosion, however.
So you get smoother instead of wrinkling.
Travel to Divinity's Reach Around. Good evening to whomever's joined me. Hello. Welcome to the actual Christmas season.
There's live music. Any places to eat? There's a tavern.
And tonight I'm just going to be doing more leveling on this tune, taking full advantage of the buffs that are available. I mean, I've got the books. I could instantly level, but what's the point in that? I play for fun. To your health and the diminishment of my own.
Though the hope of a treaty has helped.
Yeah. Keep blabbing. Lovely and scenic. Can't even remember the name of the damn thing. Ebonhaw, that's it. I don't know why Ebon. It's not like nothing here seems black. Grab the POI. Start tearing down populist, racist, hate-filled propaganda. We've got everything going on. Since I need events, time to start murdering some Skrit.
Crit, I'm hit.
Actually, you're dead, so not really hit, I would say. He got that. Let's res this guy. Another Skrit thief. Fix the damaged thumper turret. Murder the Skrit thief. Raise the lieutenant. You can tell I'm British because I use the phrase lieutenant. I'm not actually British. Spoiler.
Are making up our equipment.
I wonder what's here.
I've been to England. Really enjoyed my time in London. Great town. Especially for a history nut like me.
That had to hurt.
Just the heart complete. But they're still stealing helms. Well, those people should be enough to finish it off, and I should get credit. And I should turn back on player names. Turn them off when I do convergence. Because 50 names makes it awful hard to see what the hell's going on.
Grit, I'm hit.
Pardon me. I'm not picking my nose. I have an itch inside the nostril. I swear it's true. If I were picking my nose, I would stand up and say I have to get a no drink. So keep that in mind the next time I say I need to refill my drink. I'm probably picking my nose. It's possible that's more detail than you needed. Yeah, maybe. Pardon me. Wow. Ugh. Well, didn't realize it was that long. Fine.
There's much I can teach you.
Yeah, I'm sure you like to think you've got much you can teach me.
Fury rising.
The event was successful.
You have seen battle. I can tell by the boldness of your attack. Well done.
Chickens, pigs, a suspicious rat. You know, I swear to, I've looked up what the suspicious rat is probably a dozen times, and I have no idea.
I am that.
Another level, that's 45. Considering the fact that I started off right just at the very beginning of the level, I've earned just about a complete level in 7 minutes. Not doing a whole lot. I think I was going to go with corruption, I think. Not all that nuts about it, though. Let's go with retribution. Not quite enough to finish it off. But we will add retribution. Gain increased endurance recovery. Create an area that blocks projectiles and weakens flows. Weakens flows. Reduce strike damage dealt to you from foes beyond the range threshold. Gain resolution when you use an elite skill. Gain protection when you're disabled. Gain resolution after you dodge. Yeah, like that. While you have resolution, all damage dealt is increased and you gain might when you strike. Like that. I'm gonna go with that. Alright. I should probably figure which legend I'm going to grab next. Demon, I think. Oh, well. That costs more than I have. Oh, we've got another hero point right over here. Gwen's grave. Gwen is Logan Thackeray's several times great-grandma. This has been your history lesson. We will grab this POI. Filthy separatists.
Huh. That had to hurt.
Well, it's a suspicious door, and he was carrying a lockpick. Is there a correlation there? I don't know. A honed axe of iron. We currently have a 332 axe. That's a 446 axe. That's a big axe. Separatists. Granted, I'm a plant, so I probably wouldn't really be bothered about human separatism. See, it's another suspicious rat. I swear I have looked those up, and I have literally no idea what they are. But I'm going to find out, damn it. Suspicious rat. Rats are pets of Yananka the Rat Wrangler. When a guild bounty is activated from the missions tab of the guild panel and Yananka the Rat Wrangler is shown as one of the targets, rats can be shooed away, which will force them to appear. Now I know. Okay. Now we both, well, all four of us know. Plus anyone who's listening. Yananka the Rat Wrangler. Zug Zug, heart complete. We're already 21% done with this map. I think that's everything in the town taken care of. Yes, it is. Well, let's mix things up for a change and head out the northeast exit and follow the west edge of the map instead of following the south edge of the map. This is one of the smaller maps, so I tend to do this one after doing 1 to 3
As part of our truce with
of the starting areas for the 5 races. It's another suspicious rat. But I'm not doing a guild mission for Yananka the Rat Wrangler. Ah, suspicious bush. These are, of course, for Bubanka the Bush Burglar. It's possible I made that up. Well, there's Trillia Midwell, and that green target over their head means that they are a guild mission target.
I am mighty.
But my guess is that they're probably... Yes, they are legendary status, so if I were to get the guild mission to kill them, they would have the not in a guild mission to annihilate me, and they would be successful in that I would be annihilated.
I'm here from the delegation camp in Doomspy's watch.
I don't think there's anything else up that way. There isn't. This is a suspicious bush. A separatist basher. Who would have ever thought that in a suspicious bush you would find somebody suspicious? I don't want that suspicious bush because there's no way for me to attack it without hitting like 3 other critters around it. And they wouldn't get me any real advancement here, I don't think. Yeah, clear out predators and separatists. So the wolves count. And the wolves will summon additional wolves, which don't count, evidently. Which I think is just completely unfair. I would like to complain. Well, let's just pull these guys together and overkill the living bleep out of them. Like that. That was some quality overkilling. Now there is a little encampment of them over here somewhere. And so, again, pulling them all together and whacking a shitload of them all at once sounds like good fun to me.
The great dwarf's power is upon you all.
It's another level. That's 2 already today. And almost another one. 3 of 3 renown hearts. And looted 10 defeated enemies. Zug zug, daily complete. How about some power and precision? Hard to go wrong with that.
Now I shall break you.
And now we'll bank everything that isn't junk. We'll head back to the western edge of the map and continue following it north. The brand. Another event. We'll grab that. And that's another level, so that's 3 levels tonight already. Sentinel minor allies. Alive 1. Whoop. Now would be a bad time to just keel over.
I have returned to fight at your side.
Event failed. Well, there was only 1, and I had to keep him alive, so no surprise it failed.
Stone is patient, but I hunger for battle.
I'm sure you hunger for battle. And probably ale. You're a dwarf. I can't mock him for hungering for ale because, well, I'm drinking tonight, so that would be inherently dishonest of me. be back here to deal with this heart in a sec, but first we gotta go all the way to the north and commune with nature. There's also POI, I think, up here. I think. No, just the hero challenge of communing with a pile of stones. Everybody must get stoned. That's a music reference, by the way. Retribution. Heal every second for each point of upkeep currently in use. Well, the upkeep on that is 6. So that would be a not insignificant amount of healing damage, I have to say. Let's see, we went with that one. Just the damage increase when I have resolution. That actually seems pretty good. Experimental capacitor. And usually, yep, we get a little tiny arrow. Electricity voltage spike thingy. Technical phrasing. Experimental capacitor, as opposed to just a regular mental capacitor. That's another level. That's 4 levels in 22 minutes. You thought I was kidding when I said I'm a leveling machine. But then in the real sense, aren't we all just leveling machines? Every year, we like to talk about leveling up. That person is named Ratrapante, another player. Sounds Italian. But who knows, with a namespace as full as Guild Wars 2's, because it's a shared namespace across the entire game. Characters. It does allow for spaces, but no more than 1 in a row. And it will automatically capitalize the first letter after a space. But still, that's a shitload of names in the namespace. Should be the heart complete. And it is. take a sip of our festive beverage. 'Tis the season. Ho, ho, ho. And all that crap. Another waypoint. And another heart awaits us here.
Hey, over here.
No, it says Gristle Tooth is the one I have to talk to, not Gristleback. They can't get along at all. People are always getting them confused. Destroy branded creatures, nests, and crystal clusters. Easy. Just murder them all. It was not out of range. That's a dirty lie.
I am mighty. Rare treasure.
Rare treasure. That character's named I Know You, man.
That had to hurt.
Player character again. So I will be taking tomorrow off. Back on Monday for probably more Guild Wars 2, but I'm not sure. Might be something else. There's some other things I wanted to be doing. And I'm trying to take advantage of, to a healthy degree, or an unhealthy degree, the bonus XP for leveling. Amongst the things that I'm looking at doing, Grim Dawn had a big honkin' patch. I've been playing some of that. I want to do a free-to-play through on DDO, Dungeons and Dragons Online. That would be a different one for me. Most of, all of my other free-to-play throughs are on games that I know really, really well. Games that I've played for hundreds, if not thousands of hours. And not as a free-to-play, but as a paying player. I've only futzed around a few times with DDO.
Maybe you'll think
But I
twice
also need to
next
do
time.
one with Star Trek Online, and that might be a good time with Star Trek Online, because they have their Black Friday sales for a bit. That might be a better choice. And also, Lantro's got a new expansion. I might want to pick that up and play that, too. I have one character who's at the former cap, so I would be able to play that. My minstrel is at 130. I think the new cap is 140. Well, he's at 140 and the new cap's 150. Potato, potato. Oh, that's another level. That's a 5. And actually 6, because when I logged in, I had a level up waiting. Alright, put these away. Oh, I had to. Get that. This should be the offhand. It's actually more damage than the Abyss Stalker sword. That's unexpected. Abyss Soccer Sword. They were both, and this one will be an Abyss Soccer Sword in a second too. On account of I have transmogrification charges, or transconfiguration, or transmutation charges to burn. Where was it? No. Where was it? Fine. What's the name again? Abyss. Jeez. There we go. Apply. Now, it's important that you have, matching swords. If you're dual wielding any weapon, you really kind of want them to match. Style matters, perhaps in this game more than most. Actually, not perhaps. What am I drinking? It is my standard adult leisure beverage of choice. You take a glass or a tumbler. I'm using plastic because it don't break. You put in a bunch of ice. You put in some vanilla vodka, a splash of cream, and then fill it with the root beer of your choice. So if you're an American who grew up with the summer delight of a root beer float, it tastes like a root beer float, and it kicks like a mule. Where's the Vista? Up above? No, right next to me. I just can't see it because I'm drinking vodka and root beer. Well, I also have described it as it feels like you're drinking, it tastes like you're drinking a root beer float, and then 20 minutes later it ignites in your medulla oblongata. Brain humor never gets old. Just a second ago there was an event here and it vanished. I scared off the event. I have to explain about the root beer float because we do get our occasional European viewers, and in my experience, I have on at least 3 occasions when talking to a European friend about root beer, 3 of them have, at least 3, might be more, definitely 3, have described the taste of root beer as vile. That was their specific word they chose, was vile. So those of us who were raised on root beer floats and the like, we don't think of them as vile. We think of them as delicious. But the explanation is necessary. It is most assuredly a taste unfamiliar to their palates. I came up with it a while back. I'm certain I'm not the first person to come up with a vodka and root beer. Or VARB, as I called it. V-A-R-B, vodka and root beer. Aren't I clever? But I made the 2 specific additions, and I think those do significantly improve it. That's the vanilla vodka and the splash of cream, to really turn the root beer floatness up a couple of extra notches. I used to enjoy inventing new alcoholic beverages or combos. Some of them successful, some of them not. Often just based on what I had in the fridge. Diet Dr. Pepper and vodka was the Skinny Zhivago. It's a Dr. Zhivago reference. And that one actually was pretty good. Significantly less good was the Tequila and Diet Dr. Pepper, which I call the Mexican malpractice. The Dr. Pepper and vodka work just fine. The Dr. Pepper and tequila, not a combo. Let me be clear. Don't try this one at home, kids. Feel free to skip the Mexican malpractice. Mind you, I drank it because that was what I had in the house. But I wasn't proud. Oh, good. Now I'm limping. Complete. I am mighty. I'm a sword master. I've killed 5,000 killing blows with a sword. You can see all the weapons I have 5,000 or more kills with. I'm sure a shield's got to be the least. I have 31 kills with a shield. 31. 4,000 hours in the game. 31 kills with a shield. That's what they should have done. They should have given shield as the new weapon for one of the classes and given them a frickin' shield throw. We need to Captain America up on this. If you ever played Marvel Heroes, the shield throw was such a satisfying skill for Captain America. Spectral shield throw in PoE has been good a couple of times. My cup runneth under. I'll be right back. Allow me to expand on my comment about Marvel Heroes, the late lamented ARPG. It was an incredibly fun little gem of a game. And I do miss it. That's one where I wish they'd had enough time to know that the shutdown was coming. So somebody could have, I don't know, leaked the code. Although, given the fact that it was Disney that shut it down, and, you know, they have, let's just say, a little bit of a reputation for having the most flesh-eating attorneys in the world. It's not the sort of thing people would want to cross Disney.
Glory rising.
They don't even bother to hide the bodies. They proudly display them as a warning to others. It's like the third rail of intellectual property. You touch it, you die. And he vanished. He'll be back. This sort of mob, though, is just incredibly annoying. And there he is. Yeah, I got news for you. Although it's possible that they might simply ignore it. They have ignored Star Wars Galaxy's private servers now. The original Star Wars emulator, Star Wars Galaxy's emulator, they basically had an agreement that because they were running as emulated software, where they weren't using original code from the company, that they had basically reverse engineered the server for Star Wars Galaxy, and legally that's allowed. That goes back to the Phoenix if you're old enough to remember Phoenix BIOS. The Phoenix BIOS decision made it clear that in fact if you reverse engineer something in a clean room equivalent, that's legal. And that was what they had done. But there are Star Wars Galaxy servers out there that are running leaked code. And it is a little bit surprising that Disney hasn't gone to the effort to try and force them out of business by simply making them relocate their servers.
Let's see how you fare against this clutch.
Come on. You can't hide forever. Come on.
That feels better.
I told you couldn't hide forever. You know, so it's possible they would have simply turned a blind eye to it, as long as it wasn't, you know, too successful. Another one I would like to see is, and a private server is being worked on, but they've got a long way to go, and that's WildStar. I do miss WildStar. I think a lot of people sort of gave up on it, weren't paying attention to it anymore. I think it would have a significant number of people playing it, even if it wasn't, you know, even if it was completely on maintenance mode. Yeah, full MMO. With a bit of a touch of a Warner Brothers attitude to the game. For instance, every time you leveled up, there were 49 different level up sounds where the narrator would pop in and go, "Damn, you're really becoming a badass," or something like that. So it had this sort of comic aspect to it. It had very stylized animated stuff. Just Talk TV has subscribed. I don't even have a spiel for subscriptions. Thank you very, very much. I'm very appreciative. Always. Thank you. I'm always at a bit of a loss for word on subs. I have the spiel that I have for follows. I guess I'm going to have to come up with a spiel for subs now, too. Look what you've done to me. You're turning me into a professional streamer. I always just wanted to be bad at it. Oh, wait, I am. So, it had a lot of tells on the ground. A lot of the stuff you see, for instance, if you watch in-game rating in WoW with ground tells and stuff, it had all that stuff as a big element in the gameplay. So some people didn't like it because they felt that made it look, like an obvious video game. Spoiler, it's a video game. The classes were fun. It was very movement oriented. So in that way, fairly similar to Guild Wars 2 in that movement was a big deal. Getting out of the ground tells and stuff. Not standing in the poo. Well, and now that's a follow. You see? Now, Chronic Inc., for you, I have a spiel. Welcome to my humble little stream of misfunction, malfunction, dysfunction, and frequently complete and total unfunction. You're most welcome indeed, and thank you very, very much for the follow. Oh, that's a good start to my evening. Thanks, guys. So, sadly, WildStar was sort of marketed as being for the hardcore player. Like a hardcore WoW player, hardcore raider from WoW. And most MMO players aren't that. Hey, thanks for the lurk. Thanks for the follow. Feel free to chat if you feel like it. An involved chat, I think, makes for a better streamer. At least, certainly it does for me. And that's a ding. Ding 50. They grow up so fast. So because they advertised as this big, badass, hardcore raiding game, and the raids were quite good, my understanding is. I was not interested in raiding anymore. But my understanding, for instance, from watching Max, who leads one of the two guilds that are currently fighting for the world race to world first in WoW, okay? Maximum on Twitch. He's really insightful on gaming, not just WoW. But, he rated at the top end and said the game had great raids. Not enough of them because, well, it was still new. But by emphasizing that in their marketing, that we're going to be a big raiding game, they turned off a lot of people who never gave the game a decent shot. They also had very hardcore attuning quests before you could get access to raids, and in some case dungeons. I think you had to go through attunements. So to a lot of people, it was a game that didn't interest them from the start because it was marketed as a game that they weren't going to want to play. Some of the stuff they talked about for launch wasn't in the game. Things like guild versus guild battles weren't in. And as far as I know, those never even got in. The classes were interesting. The setting kind of worked in that one was sort of this ragtag batch of rebels, and the other was sort of these unpleasant imperialist, pseudo-semi-fascist, but both sides had bad guys and good guys, so there was some context to it. It was done largely, but not completely, with a lot of tongue-in-cheek humor. And so for some people that turned them off. Some people didn't like the animations. So I think because a lot of it was kind of divisive by design. In other words, not that they tried to be divisive, but the design choices they made were divisive. It turned off a fair number, if not a lot, of players. And let's face it, once your MMO gets off to a slow start, it is a tough sell from that point on. FF14 did it, but not many games have. Pardon me, I have to kill a separatist jailer.
Finally, free. Unshackle everyone else so we can all get out of here.
It's Commander Batista. Somewhere out there, there's got to be, I'm sure there is because I think I've seen it, a video showing all of the level up announcements in the game. You know, that's the kind of sense of humor the game had. A lot of people just didn't like that.
Fury rising.
Other people liked it a lot. I was kind of in the middle. I didn't mind it. Sometimes it busted me up. Sometimes it was a bit much. But the gameplay was really solid. Whatever other people's, you know, problems, issues with the game, true or not, and the most of the people's issues were certainly legitimate.
A little help here?
The gameplay was solid.
Finally, free. Unshackle everyone else so we can all get out of here.
So one of my, I have an MMO fantasy. Don't worry, it's clean. There's a City of Heroes private server group collection, whatever you want to call it. Where's the last one? Over there. Okay. The homecoming servers for City of Heroes. They were, for some time, involved in negotiations with NCSoft to become an officially recognized private non-profit server, similar to Project 1999 for EverQuest. And so my hope, my secret hope of hopes, was that that would succeed, that they would get so much positive press for it that they would say to themselves, hey, I've got an idea. Let's let people access the source code for WildStar. Yeah, I don't think that's happening. I don't think either part of that is happening, sadly. But that was my secret, not dirty fantasy. Although if you didn't like the game, you might consider it a dirty fantasy, I suppose. Now I could tell you about my dirty fantasies. Nah, never mind. Twitch wouldn't approve. Cheerleader twins. I just made that up on the spur of the moment. I promise you wouldn't find that in my cache. Incognito mode. Just kidding. Twins, Basil. Twins. Movie reference. Well, we've got another event. I need more events, I think. Ogres. Hi, guys. Mind if I dance? Mind if I dance with your dates? Me and Pigs Don't Fly is the name of the other character here, other player here. Pigs Don't Fly with 2 Y's. That's another level. 8 tonight in 55 minutes. I have to select my reward. Let's see. 13. 23. Hike. Oh, the boots. Boots are the winners.
Look at this. So pretty.
This means, as is tradition, a new randomly selected dies for all of my attire. Put all that stuff away. Open, open, open.
Their territory now.
2. Can't use. Can use. Alright, where are they headed? This is a 390 shield. That's got to be better than the one I'm using. It is. Where'd the new hat? Oh, new boots. Sorry, not new hat, new boots. Did I put on the new boots? I did not put on the new boots. I have put on my new boots. We have new boots. And, as is tradition, while leveling up a character, put on new item of attire. Random die selection. Here we go. Oh, that's really... ick. Bold, Electro Peach, and Khaki. Bold, Electro Peach, and Khaki. Where are we going? Why are we going into this? This is a cave. Why would we be going into a cave? A better question is, why are harpies in a cave? There's no room to fly in a cave. They really are bird brains, I guess. And the idiots head off over here. Good thinking, guys. Let's run away from the players who are keeping us alive and
That feels better.
missed me. I would say now she's got to kiss me, but ew! Die groundling. I'm gonna pass.
Ready for the next one.
Oh, 2 more matriarchs over there. The other person's fighting them. Sometimes you just gotta have rotating hammers of death. They never get old. Alright, there's one more. Fine, I would be better served by doing other stuff. But I'm here and there's another player. Otherwise I would have left these 2 yutzes on their own. But no, it's another player. Because I generally try to play as a non-jerk human being. I don't always succeed, but I try.
We're leaving. Move.
And we got a chest for our problems, our troubles. A strong, soft wood torch. Strong and soft. Just like toilet tissue. another event. How am I doing on our Character Adventure Guide Volume 3 stuffs? I need to mine more ore. Oh, I don't get credit for mining here. Well, that just eats shorts. Crafting levels. Okay, I do get credit for events. I haven't participated in 5 events yet? Well, that just makes me unhappy. What are we doing here? Griffin feathers. No one has done any. Well, I'm going to get one, and then it'll fail. I have a griffin feather. I'll take it back to Kailani the Foolhardy. I don't think anything foolhardy about getting someone else to kill your griffins for you. That seems to actually be pretty wise. Alright. Too many griffins. They can't catch me. I'm the Gondam gingerbread man. On a roller beetle. It's complicated. Knock me back. Rat bastards. Is that 2 veterans?
Feels better.
It is, in fact, 2 veterans. It is 1 veteran.
This
It is no
changes
veterans.
Nothing.
Attacker morale, 58%. Oh, that's good. Run past the other guys who are banging on you to come bang on me because I'm trying to res another dude. Seriously, who does something like that? Separatist Stormcallers, that's who. Jerks. Alright, got him. There we go, I got my free heals. %. Well, are they also making a run elsewhere? They are. Yes, 80 is the cap. Has been since launch. It's an unusual system, if you're not familiar with Guild Wars 2, in that at the end, you hit level 80, you get, you can buy exotic armor and weapons, and basically be within 5% of best in slot on everything in the game. So from there, it's playing the content. It's not so much about every couple years there's a new expansion and the level cap goes up and you have to regrind everything. Now, mind you, there's no problem. I have no problem with that. I enjoy the little tickle of pleasure when you get a new item. So I enjoy vertical progression as well. But Guild Wars 2 is all about the horizontal progression. So that's things like masteries, which are like special stuff you can do with the mounts, or other sort of additional endgame systems that appear that aren't strictly speaking power, are usually about things like quality of life. And then there's, you know, the real endgame is often said is fashion wars. And I can attest to the fashion wars. I'm currently using these 2 swords here. But if I wanted to change them up, I just go to wardrobe, click. This is all of the unlocked skins I have for one-hand swords. And I have... I clicked the wrong thing. Try that again. Not that one. That one. There we go. I have almost 1,300 transmutation charges. Basically like transmogging. And now my swords are translucent. And having the option to change up your appearance and stuff is one of the things that keep the players engaged, as there's a constant rollout of additional new cosmetics and whatnot. Not all of it is necessarily easy to obtain. There are legendary weapons which are not available as drops. They have to either be purchased from the auction house from another player, or they have to be made. I have one legendary weapon, which sadly, due to a change they've made, it won't show, which is a two-handed sword, the Great Sword. And each of my characters can use it at the same time. And it has, I believe, a 5%... No, actually, its statistics are identical with the best stuff in the game. The Ascended weapons and the legendary weapons have the same stats. What the legendary weapons give you is quality of life stuff. So that's the way you do horizontal progression. You can be at 97%, I think, 96 or 97% of best in slot within 5 minutes of hitting the cap. And from there on, it's up to you. The phrase I use is you have to make your own fun. You have to decide what you want to do. What sounds like fun to you? Do you want to do PvP, which is 5-on-5 instanced? Do you want to do World v World, which is 50 versus 50 versus 50 in a very, very large, and I mean very large. Can I see the map? I don't know if I can see the maps without being there. In a very large tripart map, which includes sieging and zerging and all kinds of stuff like that. Maybe you want to do fractals, which are similar to Mythic Plus in WoW. In fact, that's where the idea for Mythic Plus came from. They took it from fractals in Guild Wars 2. Maybe you want to do raids. We've got raids too. We're not adding any new raids, but we do have raids. We've got 7 of them, with between, I think, 2 and 4 bosses each. But the game doesn't give you a lot of guidance on what you should be doing, or even what you could be doing. And that's one of the weaknesses it has. A lot of people will get to the cap, and they'll say, what am I supposed to do? But the game, a lot of it is sort of unguided. I mean, you see what I'm doing here. I'm leveling around by just running around. I'm doing hearts, which are a little bit like quests, but not really. But other than that, I'm doing map completion. I'm getting things like hitting all the points of interest, the waypoints, the hero challenges, the vistas. And that's how you level. And that's just a very strange change in paradigm from what most players are used to from, you know, the sort of expected route of everyone's going to follow what WoW does, which is understandable because WoW has been printing money for what, almost 20 years now? So it's understandable people don't want to deviate too far from the WoW formula because the WoW formula makes a lot of money. But these guys did a lot of stuff different, not everything. And that's one of the reasons why it can be difficult for new players to sort of glom onto. But also one of the reasons it has a very, very loyal base of fans, because it's not exactly like WoW. It does things differently. And so if you're not keen with the vertical progression of a game like WoW or LATRA or Star Wars The Old Republic or Final Fantasy XIV, you know, doing something different is not a bad thing. That's another level. And someone like me, I enjoy map completion. So, I mean, I also enjoy, as an example, for years, a couple years, 2+ years, basically every Monday I did a map, a key farm. Once a week, you can create a new character, you get them up to level 10, you do the first chapter of the storyline, and you get a key to open one of the real money lockboxes. And every week, on Monday, I would do a key farm. It's not challenging, and for most people, or at least a lot of people, wouldn't find that interesting, but I find it fun in a relaxing kind of way. I mean, I'm leveling here. On this account, I have like 28 or 30 level 80 characters. And I'm currently finishing up a few more. And then I'll have 36 level 80 characters because I enjoy leveling. Now, a lot of people, that would make no fucking sense at all. Why would anyone want more than one of the same class? Mm-hmm. And yet, it's not that uncommon in Guild Wars 2 players. Certainly not everybody, but it's not that uncommon. But the additional types of horizontal progression that are available for things like masteries is another thing. Every time there's new content, they bring out new masteries. And those certainly not, strictly speaking, I have to help her. Where are you going now, lady? There is not really power associated with masteries, generally speaking, but there's a lot of quality of life associated with them. They want to play? Let's party. You know, so when new content comes out, also to some degree, I have chased achievements. A lot of the achievements have tangible rewards in things like skins and ascended weaponry or armor. And so I've done a lot of that. I mean, not a lot, because there's something like, at the top end, you've got players with almost 50,000 achievement points, and I just hit 17,000 the other day, so I can't really say I'm doing a lot of that.
These creatures choose to live with us. You cannot keep them here by force.
Race. You could never care for beasts as we do. I need your help.
There, they have joined us. We must get them back to Symbol's rescue. Quickly.
But it is certainly, I agree, one of the weaknesses. The game doesn't really tell you what your options are at level 80. You know, I've hit the cap. What do I do? The game doesn't really say. You know, a lot of people have asked that either of me or of any, you know, Guild Wars streamer I'm watching. I hit cap. What do I do now? And the short but not helpful answer is anything you want. but you have to kind of chase it down yourself. I enjoy open world meta play as an example. That's a pretty common example. People enjoy the meta game. So that's the big, like, map-wide events where you can have 60 or 80 people running around.
These creatures choose to live with us. You cannot keep them here by force.
You're talking to the dead, Nia. Oh my God, what is with her? You have to escort her all the way in and all the way out? This is a terrible event. I hate this event. He knocked me down. Come on, Nia, get moving. I need the event for the adventure guide. So if you haven't gotten any of the expansions as an example, and I'm going to do, this would be shilling if I had any advantage, if I gained any advantage from it. Right now, all of the expansions except the very latest are on sale, and some of them for very big discounts. If you never bought an expansion for the game, the first 2 expansions are on sale as a package for $7.50. 75% off. They're normally 20 bucks. 30 bucks? 30 bucks. I'm an ogre slayer. Another 5 achievement points. Are we done yet? No, you got to go through the door. Oh my God, this event. I would, well, at least another player's with me. They're wildflowers with multiple Z's. Looks like 4 or 5 Z's in wildflowers. They are wildflowers. And as an example, also the bigger packages. The packages that give you all the expansions and all of the Living World seasons except the latest expansion. That's half off. That's 50 bucks right now. So if you're a Guild Wars 2 player, now is a good time to buy any expansions you don't already have, except for the newest. And if you have none of them, the $7.50 for the first 2 expansions, given the amount of content that encompasses, is huge for $7.50. I do not have an affiliate badge or tag or anything for you to click on and give me money if you buy the stuff. I gain no advantage from it except hopefully another player playing the game.
What are you doing here? Stay away from my pets and my people.
I'm staying away from your pets because you're a big badass mob who has chunks of guys tougher than me in your stool. So yeah, I'll be leaving you alone. Another suspicious rat. We've seen a lot of suspicious rats tonight. I think this heart is killing more ogres. But not the chief, because the chief would do the aforementioned annihilating me kind of thing. The heart is over here further. Evidently, it is. We are 60% done with the map. couple of those events were brutally slow and long, and not in a good way. Well, that's a dead end. And that's an invisible wall. We don't have many of those, but they still bug me. Now, this is content where there was no flying originally. So that's why they have invisible walls. Is they tried to remove... They had to put in some sort of limitations to flying when they added mounts to the game. I hate it, but I can't begrudge it. We have another player. Chase X is that player's name. Got another event. Hi, guys.
Fury rising.
My fury evidently is rising. I think he fell on his keys. Char scrap metal. Hello, have you heard the good word about our Lord and Savior sword? He knocked me down. I'm pretty sure I objected it in the strongest possible terms. Surprise! Stop with the knocking of me down, jerk.
I am mighty.
Missed me. Well, let's see if we've got enough scrap metal to finish off this heart. I suspect maybe it's going to be close.
May the gods protect you.
Progress leads to perfection.
Victory's mine. Another level. That's 10 of them tonight. More crafting materials. We missed ogres. More ogres need killing. Don't wanna. The game says I gotta. Isn't there a hero point over here? There is. Good evening. And welcome back.
Lend me a hand.
I am mighty. Maybe you'll think twice next time.
Run for now. I will find you.
Run? Why would I run? I kicked your ass. Hallucinating. Maybe it's something ogres do. I don't know. Got that one taken care of. I can skip. For now. legendary centaur training, because I'm not going to be healing anything. I'm all about hurting things. I don't do with heals. I do with hurts. Corruption sounds good. Let's go with corruption. Can you ever really go wrong with corruption? I'm not sure you can. Doom, 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 doom. Rock dog. Rock dog. He knocked me down again. Ogres and their knockdowns. We'll res them. I'm the good guy after all, so we'll res them. Sabotage the food supplies. Yeah, gotta say, that sounds like poop. Just, you know, put it out there, it sounds like it involved poop. Although, who knows? It's possible they might consider that an improvement. More food supplies, more poop. I don't know what actually involves poop. How about a little fire, Scarecrow? I'm going to have to pass on the trying of the poop. Part complete. We are 67% done with the map. All right, we've got another POI, point of interest, up here. And another vista. Vista. View. A scenic overlook, wherein one may examine the surroundings for cool and interesting places to visit and then kill people. New event going on. We are, what, recapturing? Something's coming this way. I saw him coming.
You will not take this land from us.
We already took the land from you.
That's how you deal with an enemy. Fast, efficient. Keep these soldiers off me. We need to hold this spot until reinforcements from Spotter's base get here.
Where are you going? Where do you think you're going? Oh, you're vanishing. You use the teleport. Ogres have a teleport skill. It's really weird. Is he running away? Coward. Filthy coward. I don't actually know if he's afraid. Pretty sure he's filthy, though. Another waypoint over here, in here.
Sir, reinforcements from...
And another point of interest. Not very interesting point of interest. It's dirt. Let me sell my crap. McCrap, McSold. We got another one there, and another heart down there too. Fine, fine, fine.
Hey, rust suckers, check your fire. We're on the same side.
did that one. Ah, that's right. This one is at the quarry just outside town, where we get to kill cliff bats and other fascinating life. Did you know that 20% of all mammal species are bats? That was on Reddit today. I'm not just, using that for no reason. I'm killing bats. Shifting rocks. Ah, a rat. I did 7,600 damage to the rat. Well, yes, of course it must be true. It's on Reddit. And that's on the internet. That's a combo platter. It can't be wrong, because that would be both the internet being wrong and Reddit being wrong. I like to describe the internet in general, and Wikipedia specifically,
Fury rising.
as the internet's #1 source for semi-authoritative information. Or even crypto-authoritative. You know, I can distinctly remember, because we were working in that space in 1994, when I first started seeing URLs on TV commercials. And I said to anyone who'd listen, the internet's going to be fucking huge. You're not going to believe how much it's going to change everything. And I was right. And then I continued, it's going to democratize knowledge and information. And I was so wrong. What it's done is weaponize stupidity and ignorance instead. So, I was 1 out of 2 on that prediction. Sadly, getting the wrong half correct. The internet has made the human species dumber. Which is a little hard to imagine if you think about it.
How very satisfying.
80% done. And now I'm limping. And now I'm flying. POI here. 81% done. Reddit is the idiot savant of the internet. When it's good, it's unbelievably good. It's not good that often. Yeah, it's in this game. There's the species of the skrit. They're humanoid rat-like creatures, or perhaps squirrel-like, might be a little more accurate. And they're dumb. But when they're in groups, they all get smarter. We're the opposite. What heart did I not get over here? I have no idea what heart I did not get over here. Ah, okay, yep. Yeah, the problem isn't that we're dumb. We've always been dumb. We're now additively dumb. It used to be if you took a dumb person, you brought another dumb person in, you ended up with dumb plus dumb equals 2 dumb. Now you get dumb squared. Because if you look up something dumb on the internet, you'll find something supporting it, no matter how dumb it is.
I am mighty.
Flat Earth? Yep.
Fury rising.
This guy's no wonder he's bad. He's a veteran and he's bad.
You'll think twice next time.
I am mighty.
There we go, another heart complete. 83% done with the map. We'll grab this waypoint and move into the center of the map where things are not yet done. We have another POI over here. Gotta grab that. Sell our crap.
Farewell.
Go to the ornamental, semi-cool looking, wacky little piece of broken architecture and take a momentary break to refill my cup and empty something else. I'll be right back. I'm back. Ta-da. Okie dokie. Where are we off to next? I got all those done. Yeah. Large space here in the middle is where we're going. There's a big peace meeting going on between the Char and the humans. And outside of this meeting are bunches of Chars and bunches of humans.
Excuse me.
Who only agree on one thing, and that's that they need to kill the other side. So here you've got Char and humans trying to make peace, and outside you've got Char trying to kill humans and the Char they don't agree with, and humans trying to kill Char and the humans they don't agree with. In my experience, there's one thing you can always agree on in a meeting, and that's, God, I fucking hate meetings. I once suggested to a manager who had commented in a meeting that his meetings were too long. And I said, well, I think I've got an answer. He said, what? I said, put Steve in charge of the meetings because nobody hates meetings more than Steve. And it worked. It cut our meetings down by about 2/3. He gave Steve permission to tell people to shut up, including him. And things got better. Ding 55. Select my reward. Oh, yes, I think we'll go with that. We have a new chess piece. A new item of attire, as is tradition. Means a new random die scheme. Here we go again.
Either way, she's still cute. Yeah, but still.
Right now, those look really quite awful.
Yeah, Ascalonians have a long...
So, hit me.
This isn't over.
Well, it's a little bit more uniform. We have Desert Harpy, Evening Red, and Olive Shade. The one is a little bit blue to pass for metal, but it's close. Yep, so my manager would just hand Steve the itinerary for the meeting, what he wanted to cover, and Steve would talk to people who needed to be involved, and he'd move on to the next thing. And anytime people were talking about horse shit, which was often, because it's a meeting, and it worked. So there's the key. I'll turn away and make sure this guy gets his hits in. He got his hits in. So he'll get progress as well as I get progress. We done yet? We done yet? Not quite. One more wasp. Oh, look. A poor little lonely wasp. Wasps, nature's assholes. Along with swans and geese, I have been informed. My Canadian friends swear that that geese are at least as bad as wasps. I'm a little dubious. but they are insistent. All right, this heart over here is not bad at all. Reloading the mines. There's nothing the least bit war crimey about landmines. All right, maybe just a tiny bit war crimey. Well, they're separatists, and I separated their heads from their bodies. All right, that's a little gross, but... Rise. Heal. Hands on. Fix a mine, 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 heart complete. That's all of the hearts. We are 96% done, so we have 2 or 3 things we're missing. One that's obvious and close by is the POI right here in the middle of the camp. 97, 98,
I want to thank
98.
some of your men on this mission.
We are missing
It's under your command now. It's
a
red meat
waypoint.
from us like you.
There.
No offense taken.
Can we get a key? For those of you not aware of it, when you do a map completion, you get some rewards. And you have about a 30% chance, 1 in 3, somewhere in there, of getting a key for a lockbox. Which is one of the reasons why I tend to do my leveling up by doing map completions. And here we go. Congratulations on finishing a map. Thank you, Tyrian Explorers Society. They're so helpful. We were putting in corruption. And no key. Son, I am disappointed. Not only no key, but 2 light armor pieces. I can't wear light armor. I'm a revenant. I wear heavy armor. I've always felt that those items that you get out of those and should be class appropriate. But we have finished off the Fields of Ruin. Now, character adventure guide. Story, no. What do we need? We need 13. We're at 7 of 13. We need 6 more of these. World bosses, chapter 3 of the story, crafting, mining ore in Harathi hinterlands, Dredge Haunt Cliffs, or Blaze Ridge Steppes. Not 3 maps I like. Blaze Ridge Steppes should be north, maybe north 2. That's Blaze Ridge, so we'll go to Blaze Ridge. Fine, fine. Whatever. Blaze Ridge Steppes, home of the Shatterer, as you can see above.
Legions have a treaty with humans.
Well known for breaking stuff. POI. Vista. Cum Vista. And we have a heart. Destroy ogre supplies and flag stands. Prevent brawls between Char and humans and help patrol and combat ogres and revive fallen allies. Okay.
Ready for a challenge?
Ogres. Evidently, they take it personal when you burn down their shit. I guess they're just a bit tetchy. We have another event. Oh, we'll res this guy. Well, they certainly have a reputation for being hasty, let us say, in their reactions to things. Let me res some dead guys. That's Brutak Shatter Scar. I don't know how you can shatter a scar. That doesn't really make any sense. This guy is named Shatter Skull. That makes more sense. I tell you, the ogre with his backhand knockback doesn't even give you much time to react. Kind of a dick move. Art complete level. I'm now level 56. More coming. So the key to avoiding it is to be in iframes when he does his knockback. Key to being in iframes is using my 3 ability.
I am mighty.
We've retaken it. Dun 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 dun. I'm the victor.
Mindless beasts. How did we ever let them win a battle?
And to me go the spoils.
In the end, we've got the guns. We always pull the trigger.
We've got another heart to the south. Is that the one on the river? Down by the river. It is. This one's easy enough, and you don't even have to kill nothing. You just repair the fishing nets. Grab a fishing barrel. Offer a tasty fish to a salamander drake. I wasn't close enough. And he'll follow me in, and you just take him into the little corral. It turns out they love tasty fish. And if you have appropriate amounts of sedation in them, they'll then just fall asleep. just love tasty fish. And who amongst us does not? And fix that. Fishing net will be done. That's another heart complete. We have another heart up here. I think this is bandits. Human bandits yet. Separatist marksman. He is not interested in the tasty fish. I'm going to go out on a limb and say that the tasty fish, not a separatist big deal.
Refreshing. I feel energized.
Lots and lots and lots of separatists.
Freezing.
I am mighty.
Something blowed up. A lot fewer separatists than there were a minute ago. I'm using my swords to break cannons. I'm not sure that's actually the best approach.
I am mighty.
And now I'm busting through it. Looks like a iron gate with my swords. The heart's complete, so I'm sorry to the dead Char laying there. The heart's complete. I'm done. Later, guys. Good luck. I'm sure someone will come along sooner or later. I wouldn't sweat it. Wikipedia says there's nothing more effective than swords to break cannons. Don't worry, tomorrow it'll say prayer. The great advantage to publicly editable information is you can change it every day. Stop knocking me back, things. I would like things to stop knocking me back. Thank you. This has been an official request for things to stop knocking me back, chilling me, crippling me, stunning me, or providing any general negative debuff to me. I prefer you give me your XP, roll over, and drop some fat loot. Thank you. These guys do not give me any heart progress. Ergo, I'm wasting my time. than be out here and murder things appropriately to get heart progress. Yep. Oh, absolutely. Fat loot would be if you stole lard. Fat loot with an F would be lard. Fat loot with a PH is, you know, a +5/+5 holy dancing Vorpal laser sword.
Fury rising.
They just keep respawning. Which is good, because I need to kill them. Pardon me, friend. Him. Got him.
We've driven them off.
We've driven them off? Oh yeah, you were fighting one. Char. No wonder the human wants you all dead. Did I say that out loud? Pardon, I've got a yawn coming. It's not you, it's me. Because obviously it's me. Alright. Could be Sylvari, despite the fact I am currently playing a Sylvari. I really dislike the Sylvari. Self-loathing Sylvari. I'm sure those exist. Well, certainly I do like to mock the fact that they are the... Shh, don't tell anyone. Children of Mortemoth. But I also hate their starting map, and I hate their city map. And a lot of my distaste for them is because of that. Caladan Forest is a terrible starting map. And the Grove is the worst of the starting cities. I don't even consider that to be discussable. Getting around in there is terrible. The little layout of lines they offer to find things in towns, you know, for quests or whatnot, are almost useless, if not, in fact, worse than useless. So that is the source for most of my dislike for Sylvari. Also, part of it is a knee-jerk on my part, because some people are so bonkers crazy for the Sylvari, and I don't understand. I don't really get. I guess we don't have elves, and it's as close as they can come. I just don't think there's anything special about them to inspire so much affection from a significant chunk of the player base. And my naturally contrarian nature makes me just be a jerk by reflex. Yeah, I do, and I don't care for the leafy aesthetic, shall we say. Like the cultural attire, I find really boring, because you can't really tell if they're wearing clothes or if they just have extra leaves. If, you know, they have extra layers, like an onion. I know a lot of people dislike the Asura, and I think some of their reasoning for disliking the Asura is similar to my disliking for the Sylvari. I personally don't dislike the Asura. I like that for a change we have the cutesy small race and their borderline sociopaths, if not past borderline sociopaths. Most of the time, MMOs make, you know, a small cutesy race. They make them adorable. The Asura are not adorable. They're actually pretty awful.
Repairs are finished, sir. Yes, the repairs are finished, sir.
The repairs are finished, sir. I mean, the Asura look like the cutesy little race until you see their mouth full of shark teeth and you realize that, in fact, generally speaking, sharks are less sociopathic than Asura. Now, obviously, I have an affection for the Norn. They're big and like to drink. I can't imagine what I might have in common with them. I'd make a passable short Norn. I don't think I could quite pull off the beard to the Norn degree. Remove the script from Tongue Rock. Ooh, first.
Refreshing. I feel energized.
Refreshing, I feel energized. I'm not sure why I feel energized. I'm murdering Skrit, although I guess murdering Skrit might be pretty energizing. I can see that. Oh, he sets up a rifle turret, and it'll just harass me if I don't destroy this silly ass thing. Skrit Forager. Hi there.
I am mighty.
Skrit, I'm hit. And again, setting up the rifle turret, you little jerks.
I am mighty.
And we'll kick over their shiny things, which is really a dick move. Whatever the cultural significance of the shiny things, kicking them over is a dick move. I'm have to run this back to whom? The Sentinels.
You got a problem?
Not anymore. Ding! 58. Have any more hero points? I don't think so. Oh, we do. I'm wrong. I'm wrong. Imagine. Hard to believe, I know. Sentinel Faith Spotter. How does one spot Faith?
Farewell.
I'm not certain. Oh, well, there was and is an event going on here, so killing bad guys time. Not bad guys, I guess devourers, technically. I can't really call them bad guys, as they're just critters.
We've driven them off, but now...
Ow, I probably shouldn't stand in the fire. Like the first thing you learn in MMORPG school, don't stand in the fire. And yet, what was I doing? Standing in the fire. Why is the Sentinel morale going down? Oh, up there, I guess. And again, I'm standing in the freaking fire.
Help me over here.
Help me over here. They don't want to help. Why don't they want to help me? I want to help them. Wouldn't you? A player would try to res me, but these things, no, they don't want to. So I'm going to die again because of stupid NPCs. Yep, that's 2 deaths on this character.
Hello.
The other one was worse, though. That was a game flaw. Upper deck, lower deck.
If you're brave enough, report to me.
I won't come undone.
That one won't come back.
Should be a success, and it is. More XP, completing events tier 3. Excellent. Didn't you guys get the memo? You were defeated. You should be running away now. Let's see, I finished off the Scrit. Gylar Hate
I'm
Belly.
hearing rumors of Inquest poking around near Brent.
So, what do you think? Hate Belly. They hate their belly? They eat hate and they're just full? They think bellies in general are ugly and don't want anyone to not cover theirs up? It's a puzzlement. Well, it must be down here, and it is. Wow, a lot of gold ore. Welcome to California, circa 1849. That was more XP and another level, I think.
Affirmative.
Level 59. Let's see, that would be 18. That would be 61. I doubt we're going to beat that. Yeah, that's 54, so... We have new pants. New pants means new die selections. Drum roll. Oh, they definitely clash. Oh, it's a non-starter. It's such a clash. That's really awful. Thistle, Wintermint, and Benevolence. Well, 2 out of the 3 are appropriately floral, given the fact that I am a Sylvari.
The Deegan Shun ogres are a rare, peaceful breed.
Yes, I'm sure they are. But over here... we've got Asura who need killing, specifically Inquest.
I've never been here.
I don't know if I'd go so far as mighty. There we go. Deactivate the door and kill people. If you look over my left shoulder, you can see one of the 4 bookcases I have in here in my den. Another couple in the in the bedroom that are largely filled with fantasy. Good chunk of science fiction too, but mostly fantasy. I stopped counting the number of times I read Lord of the Rings in the mid-40s. Not my mid-40s. 40 plus times I have read the Lord of the Rings. If you think that sounds a bit mental, you're right. But when I first read it at like 11, I read it, I believe, actually 11 times in a row. Of the Lord of the Rings, well, I won't spoil it. If you look over my right shoulder, you can see the poster for the Fellowship of the Ring, the movie, and it is signed by Ian McKellen. I will certainly not spoilerize. I won it in a contest from Burger King. Seriously. They had a genuinely tough trivia quiz on, you know, the little paper mats they put on the plastic trays for takeout, or I guess for in-place dining. And it had actual difficult questions about the Lord of the Rings. Now, I'm a nut about the Lord of the Rings, less so than I used to be, but at that time, bonkers. So I had no problem with them, but your average person who might have read them once or twice, they might have gotten like 2 out of 10. The grand prize was a trip
What are you doing out here?
to, I don't remember if it was London, for the premiere. The first prize was that. So yes, I do partake of the fantasy genre. I will not spoil Return of the King for you. The title.
Any news? Let's do this before the brand pukes something else out on us.
Hey, I would never intentionally spoilerize any book or movie or anything. Great, I'm glad you love them, because obviously I love them too. I have 2 separate single-volume hardbound editions.
That was satisfying, but I have to get back on watch.
Won't anyone
The
help
air
me?
has thickened.
Please. My partner's in trouble. Deep, deep inquest trouble.
Here's one of them. There we are. 2 different ones. The other one is red leather bound. I like it even better. One of the things I found in getting friends to read it is the first book can be very hard to get through. The Shadow of the Past is a chapter that can hook people. That's the one where Gandalf talks to Frodo about the past and what happened, the history of the ring. And the other one is if you can get to Moria in book 1 in Fellowship. If neither of those things gets somebody's attention, they probably won't make it through the whole series.
Let's do this before the brand pukes something else out on us.
2 is certainly slower than the others. I beat this guy up, but I'll help the other player here beat him up to get a hero point as well.
That was satisfying.
Because I'm a helper.
But I have to get back on watch. The air has thickened.
But yeah, I've been reading fantasy since Lord of the Rings was the first one, and after that, anything I could find. There was not a lot of available material in the fantasy genre at the time. So a lot of my science fiction was picked up at that time because there really wasn't much fantasy. My 2 favorite books of all time. One is, unsurprisingly, The Lord of the Rings. The other is also fantasy, but a very, very different kind of fantasy novel. It's Glenn Cook's The Black Company, which is a very realistic and gritty. It's called, whereas Tolkien sort of personifies what's called high fantasy. Dragons, wizards, the knights in shining armor type of stuff. Glenn Cook's fantasy is down and dirty. Oh, I own a first printing Silmarillion, and I love it. But I can certainly understand why for a lot of people they just would bounce right the fuck off. But in a lot of ways, I actually like the story in the Silmarillion better. The characters and stuff, not as much. Because it's much less character-based. The Lord of the Rings is more character-based. You know, the friendship between Sam and Frodo, Aragorn, the relationship even between Arwen and Elrond, which the movie presents in one way, it's not that way in the books, in the story. So Lord of the Rings is much more about character. Silmarillion is a much more difficult read, but is all about the narrative, the things that happened. So yeah, it's right over there too. We are 39% done with this map. This map's a big map.
Your duty lies in mine.
We must rise and return to the fight.
I love the first one. I have some significant issues with the second and a few with the third as well. But for me, definitely the Fellowship of the Ring movie is the best of the three because it's the most true. And I would agree, as far as effort goes, I think it is a very respectful treatment of the original books. Changes have to be made. I understand that. I just disagree with some of the ones that were made. As an example of changes that have to be made, removing Tom Bombadil, absolutely the right choice. His story essentially has nothing to do with the main narrative. And in, 7 or 8 hours of movie, you can't deal with that much of a little side issue. More sanguine to the things that made me unhappy. Elves at Helm's Deep? What? That kind of stuff. I think it's hit or miss, the embodiment of Tolkien and what he was trying to do. I think some of it is very well captured and other parts not captured well at all. And regardless, it was, given how difficult the task was, I think it is, even where I disagree with some of the choices, I think it is an admirable piece of work. And that he was, I think, at all times trying to do the best he could with the material and try and balance market forces and the things he wanted to do. But yeah, I have significant issues with parts of it. That's a lot of worms. Now, of course, we could talk about The Hobbit and really start to rage. Yar Duskrend. Yar? Oh, there is not an amount you can underestimate the Hobbit movies. There really isn't. He would have been better served by letting somebody else crap all over it rather than crapping all over it himself. I have a lot of explosive powder. I have to give that back. I wonder if that's enough explosive powder. Let's find out. No, not even close. He wants all this explosive powder, but he doesn't really want it, you know? What did I get? Another invitation to a dungeon that I'll never do. Thank you. Have more points? Do we have more points? We do. Enough to finish out another line. Enough to finish out another line. Well, originally I think he was just going to be producing and wanted to do it as 1 or 2. But the studios insisted, and they kept insisting on stuff that he didn't want to do. And then he decided it was better if he did it than somebody else did it, and he was just wrong. As to my mind, he has tainted himself permanently. But then he'd already kind of demonstrated that in King Kong. If you saw his King Kong, he got caught up with himself as being this good action director when in fact most of his action directing isn't very good. He can do nice set pieces, but a lot of the set pieces he does are just awful. Warthogs just sitting here, nothing we can do with them. Oh, supplies. If you saw his King Kong, the dinosaur chase is one of the worst action sequences ever filmed. It's literally laughably bad. And the same thing with a lot of the action sequences he did for The Hobbit. They're just terrible. Ooh, one of the worst quests in the game. Everyone hates this quest for good reason. I can get rid of that. You know, we'll leave this for later. I hate that quest. It's just terrible. It's terrible. But at least for Fellowship of the Ring, I don't have much to complain about. That's not true. I have a couple complaints. Yeah, that's true. There are worse ones. What makes that one bad is you don't fight anything. You have to sneak. And the game does not have especially robust sneak mechanics, let's say. Die, groundling! You first, bird brains. Harpies make the worst noises. Crippled me. Jerk. Just a jerk. That's all. Jerk. Jerk. I didn't want to kill you, Crimson Mower. You're just standing too close to the bird. The other bird. The half bird, half human weird thing. No, I've never really read much MZB. Sorry, Marion Zimmer Bradley. I think I've got one or two of them. Let's see, in the Bees. Yeah, I've got a bunch of Marion Zimmer Bradley. I've got Darkover, Landfall. Looks like I've got 6 or 8 of them, of her books. I don't remember them, so... I mean, I read them, but I don't really particularly remember them. And you'll note, that was the third? The third shelf down, and that was the Bees. I have a lot. Now, if I'm recommending older classic stuff, I'm going to be recommending something like Fritz Leiber's Fafford and the Grey Mouser books. Mostly short stories and novellas and the like, but they're just incredibly good fun. I'll recommend the original Conan stuff from Robert E. Howard, also his Cull stories and his Solomon Kane stories. I'll recommend the books of Michael Moorcock, his Champion Eternal stuff varies in quality from incredible to enjoyable. So I don't really remember reading it, but I did.
I am mighty.
They're old DAW editions. The yellow spine. All of them, I think. It's weird, I don't remember it. I should. I'm usually pretty good at remembering that sort of stuff and being able to comment on it cogently. But I really don't remember. It was more of her books there than I expected. And I wouldn't have kept buying if I wasn't reading them. But most of the stuff I have there is on the older side. I don't read much in the way of contemporary fantasy or science fiction. It depends. I think if it's popular, you can say certainly that it has withstood the test of time, but a lot of the older stuff that's really, really good, nobody reads anymore. I mean, classic stuff like I mentioned, Fritz Leiber's Fafford and the Grey Mouser. You know, the big barbarian and the clever little thief pair. He started that entire cliche. Comes from his Fafford and the Grey Mouser stuff, but very, very few people have read it. And it's, in a lot of ways, it's one of the big sources for Dungeons and Dragons. When the guys created Dungeons and Dragons, they paid Fritz Leiber a fee and made a game based on Fafford and the Grey Mouser because he was an inspiration for Dungeons and Dragons and the like. The game was called Lankmar, LankHMAR. Sentinel and Vigil forces. Slay branded critters. All right, branded critters. Res them. I can res them too. One of their books I'll recommend is nothing but short stories. It's like 8 or 10 short stories. Let me find out which one it is. Fritz Leiber, Leiber. Let me see if I can find the appropriate book. Swords Against Death. The first book, if you want to go chronologically, is Swords and Deviltry, which starts with or ends with Ill-Metten Lankmar. It won the Hugo and Nebula Awards for Best Novella that year. So theoretically, science fiction, pure fantasy. The second book is Swords Against Death, and that has 10 short stories and novelettes. And any of the Conan stuff by Robert E. Howard. One specific story I know was cited as an influence by both Harlan Ellison, science fiction writer, and Stephen King. And that's a story called Red Nails. They both said it was one of the best horror stories ever written, but it's a Conan story. Well, if they're ones by Robert E. Howard, they're pretty much all at least entertaining. There were a lot of other authors who wrote Conan stories and the like. They're a pretty mixed bag. I don't think I would recommend them. But all of the Robert E. Howard stuff, I think, is at least entertaining. And some of it is just really, really good. He also had Conan wasn't his first barbarian hero. His first barbarian hero was Kull of Atlantis. And that's a heart complete. He also had a hero who was a Puritan. Solomon Kane. The Solomon Kane stories are really good too. Now keep in mind, he wrote pulp fiction, which basically was the pulps were magazines in the 20s and 30s that were inexpensive and did really broad science fiction or fantasy or adventure stories. So you might have pirate stories and boxing stories. And Robert E. Howard wrote all of them. He wrote boxing stories, pirate stories, horror stories. So a lot of it will be can be unimpressive stuff that he wrote, to make a couple bucks. Generally, the Conan stuff is all good, entertaining at least. Some of it may be pulpy and kind of trashy, but it's still entertaining, at least in my mind. What do we have? We have a big critter out there somewhere. Where's the big critter? Where's the big critter? Why can I not see the big critter? Well, let's teleport down here. No, it's to the southeast. Never miss an opportunity to grab a waypoint. I don't think anyone's fighting the big boy. Nope, the legendary bloodstone-crazed devourer has decided to shoot me with a laser beam. And the other guy who was in the area has decided to run away too. I don't know if he made it. But that thing was going to eat me body and soul. It was time to go. Speaking of which, it is about time for me to go. I want to thank you guys for hanging out. Nice to have an active chat. I always have a better time, and I think I'm a better streamer when there's an active chat. So special thanks to you guys, but even the lurkers, thanks guys. I really do appreciate it, as always. I will not be back tomorrow. I'll be back on Monday. Not sure what I'll be playing. Might be doing one of the alternate things I was talking about. So that's either a free-to-play through on Star Trek Online or Dungeons & Dragons Online. Maybe Grim Dawn. Possibly also the new Lotro expansion. Maybe even back here. Who knows? I don't. What am I seeing? Why is that person throwing fire at me? That's rude. But I'm going to call it an evening for here. I want to thank you guys for hanging out. I always do appreciate it. I really do. Thank you very, very much for the follow and particularly the subscription. Are you sure you haven't suffered a recent head trauma? I'll be back in a couple of days. Hopefully you'll see me then. Have a great rest of your Saturday evening. I've got that right? Yeah. And a great Sunday too. Back on Monday. Hopefully you see me then. Have a great night tonight. Take care. And ciao for now. Good night, guys.